Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. I have read, if you will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right. God hears them all. There is no prayer too small. My God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. No prayer too small. God hears them all.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you. Let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in the coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of that coffin. You tried lifting the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid from the dirt prevents you from opening the lid. You then try to bang on the lid, hopefully to unsettle the dirt. Maybe somebody will notice and start digging their way down towards you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind while you were abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might take something away that was given to you by God called life? With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person that I'm reading about on these index cards that waited and waited and waited until it was too late. Instead, be the person that reaches out and calls us at 844-405-HELP and let us help you take your life back. people like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here today looking for help. Larry has over 30 years experience as a life coach, as an addiction recovery coach. You can go find him at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741. Folks, when you take your slippers off at night, stick them under your bed, not at the edge of your bed. Then in the morning, when God allows you to wake up, to see the things that I'm seeing behind here, the streams, the waterfalls, get on your knees, retrieve those slippers from under your bed, and thank God for another glorious day. Thank God for the home that you're living in, for the bed that you just slept in, for those slippers, to afford those slippers that you're going to be putting on. Ask God for guidance and direction and mercy and forgiveness. Utilize on your knees as a thing that I call knee mail, K-N-E-E, mail. That is your instant message to God from your lips to His ears, instantly thanking Him for everything He's done for you. Utilize knee mail each and every day, and once you're done communicating with God, put those slippers on, stand straight up, roll your shoulders back, stick your chest out, and walk with God 24/7. I want to talk about mood swings and anxiety, and a lot of us have that in life. Mood swings has often been incorrectly used as a term. People talk about those that are emotionally as though they have mood swings, when in truth their emotions are perfectly normal reactions to life's events on a daily basis. Someone that cries often or someone that's angry isn't necessarily suffering from a swing simply because they have a strong emotion. They just have a stronger emotion than you do. True mood swings happen when you go from happy to sad in a moment like this without anything apparently triggering it. Unfortunately, many people with anxiety suffer from extreme mood swings as a response to their anxiety symptoms. And unfortunately, those swings tend to almost be negative every step of the way. Mood swings equals anxiety. The end result of a mood swing is anxiety. Mood swings are so hard to diagnose because the emotions themselves feel completely natural, as though they are logically reactions to life's events. Anxiety increases the frequency of these swings, especially towards negative emotions. Mood swings are rarely the only anxiety symptom. So take my anxiety test that you can actually call me about, because I keep hard copies of these videos at 844-405-HELP, and I'll send you a copy via email. Take my anxiety test to find out more about your anxiety. The test can be found only through calling me at 844-405-HELP. Causes of mood swings from anxiety. Mood swings are one of those symptoms that may be a symptom of anxiety directly, or they may be a symptom of symptoms. In other words, for some people, other symptoms of anxiety cause so much distress that they cause mood swings rather than the anxiety itself leading to the mood swings. Do you get it? This is common in those with more severe symptoms that find that while their symptoms essentially cause them to become more emotional, which in turn leads to mood swings, that they find out that both of them combined together interact off each other. Anxiety comes from mood swings. Don't forget, you can take the test. Call me at 844-405-HELP, and I'll email you a copy. All emotional swings and reactions can be hard to diagnose and may have any combination of possible causes. The most likely causes include hormones and neurotransmitters. The main cause of mood swings are your hormones and neurotransmitters. Anxiety may be a mental health condition, and it may be something forged over the years of experiences, but it also changes the way your body works. It reduces hormone balance and often changes neurotransmitters, which are it's the brain chemical production area. Your brain and body chemistry affects the way you think and the way you react daily, and it can make you both more emotional and more prone to rapid negative emotions. People like to believe that their thoughts and feelings are always rational and justified, but that's not so. But when your neurotransmitters are not ideal for your brain, it alters the way messages are sent and can cause you to have severe mood swings. We say it's called out of balance because every person reacts differently to different brain chemicals. Some people with anxiety have low levels of one neurotransmitter but not others. Some may even have high levels of one but not others. The main neurotransmitter involved, or transmitters involved, are serotonin, GABA, and norepinephrine. The same is true with hormones, as several different types of hormones can cause the body and mind to feel, differently than it would if these were in balance. No matter what causes your anxiety, the more these that are out of balance, the worse your mood swings will be. A lot of mood swings are caused by mental fatigue. Anxiety can also be incredibly tiring. So much so, in fact, that some people are simply unable to handle it anymore, to the point where they become incredibly stressed every time they feel anxious and are rarely able to contain their discomfort. This doesn't have a proper term, but it can best be described as mental fatigue. Your mind is on overload. It's ready to blow a fuse, I guess you could say. You become essentially so tired of dealing with the anxiety that you start to become emotional at the slightest hint of anxiety symptoms. It's very common in those with panic attacks. Some people with panic attacks get genuinely depressed and emotionally every time they have an attack, because they become so debilitated from dealing with them. These types of mood swings are very common. And then you have fear. Anxiety also creates fear, and fear itself is a powerful, powerful emotion. When you encounter a fearful thought or a fear-inducing problem, the more afraid you are, the more you are being emotional as a response to that fear. Once you experience one heavy emotion, it's possible to experience others, especially when those emotions are so negative. It's not unlikely to find that your fear is so pronounced that you ultimately become more prone to sadness, anger, etc. as a result. Other causes of mood swings. Anxiety is something that changes your lifestyle in a great deal. It may be harder to go out or harder to socialize with friends. Life simply becomes more difficult, and more difficult life is, the more it's possible that your coping system, your friends, your happiness, etc., breaks down with it. It's trickling. Coping is a mental skill, and one that often struggles when you have anxiety. The more it breaks you down, the more likely you're going to have an emotional twists and turns. Finally, it's also possible that your mood swings have nothing to do with anxiety at all, but dealing with anxiety regularly triggers them more often than you used to deal with during life. Not everything is caused by anxiety directly, but often anxiety brings out some emotional issues that people already struggle with on a daily basis. How to control anxiety and mood swings. Emotions can be very hard to control on their own. Emotions are, by their way of nature, somewhat irrational. Emotions can make you feel and think things that are disappropriate to the situation at hand. Because emotions can be so difficult to stop, the best thing for you to do is minimize your reaction to them. You can do this through techniques that force you to acknowledge the way you are feeling and how you are reacting. For example, if you notice that you're upset suddenly, immediately stop what you're doing and try to brainstorm why are you upset and whether or not you should be upset. Look at each factor that happened before and after to see if your reaction was correct or incorrect to the situation that has just happened. If you feel like you are about to have a mood swing, see if you can leave the situation totally behind. Give yourself a moment to rethink rather than immediately reacting. Often mood swings build upon themselves because you acknowledge them and act upon them very quickly. Leaving a situation can ensure this doesn't happen. Fake the positive emotion after you realize that you are experiencing a negative mood. Faking it and mocking it can actually get you right back on track. Don't try to fight the mood and pretend to feel better, because it's not something that you can just pretend. That will increase your overall stress. Rather, think of it as more as a game where you are trying to act out a play in the mood you wish to be in. You'll find that over time you adopt these emotions faster than if you allowed yourself to mope in the swing that you are experiencing. All of these can help you control your mood swings, but they are unlikely to be enough for you if you don't also learn to control the anxiety. They work together. Mood swings and anxiety work together. Since only controlling your anxiety can help your body regulate your hormones and neurotransmitters and restore your ability to cope with stress on a daily basis. I have helped hundreds of people overcome their mood swings and anxiety, starting with, this test right here. If you call me at 844-405-HELP or text me at 631-599-0218, I'll get the test to you. The test takes about 7 minutes to complete and will give you an insight on how your anxiety works and what you can do to control it. Again, you can call me at 844-405-HELP. Text me at 631-599-0218, or you can email me at Ralf, that's R-A-L-F, at Take Your Life Back Today Show. Take the test. Again, I keep hard copies of every single show. The test is just too long, and it has questions on there, so you need to do it on your own. Give me a call, 844-405-HELP. And remember, mood swings and anxiety work together. You need to work it out. In here, and may God bless you.
Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. I have a ready few, will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Just remember